As the woman finished her shower and pulled back the curtain, the man didn't do anything to her. Instead, he walked to the mirror and wrote escape, then transformed into smoke and vanished. Although startled, Lisa wasn't surprised by the man's disappearance, as she had long grown accustomed to such phenomena. 10 years ago, a Hadron Collider in a research facility exploded. In addition to causing casualties among nearby residents, another strange event occurred. The lingering shadows of the deceased reappeared on that day. They would appear at the same time and place every day, repeating the same actions, and disappear after a brief period. It did not have a significant impact on human life, and people had grown used to it over the past decade. There was even a dedicated field of study on these shadows. Lisa's father died in that explosion years ago, so she majored in this field when she grew up. This discipline had a basic theory. The number of shadows could only decrease, not increase. Humans could see the shadows, but the shadows couldn't see humans. So communication between humans and shadows was impossible. With the appearance of the strange male shadow in the bathroom, Lisa began to suspect that not only were the shadows increasing, but they could also see and communicate with humans. Especially the writing on the mirror made her suspect things weren't that simple. The next morning, when her father's shadow appeared, it felt different from before. It seemed like her father had more eye contact, further strengthening Lisa's inner thoughts. She found her classmate Jack. After listening to her experience, Jack didn't respond. Instead, he took her into a tunnel. Jack said last week there were only 16 fish here, but now there were clearly several times more than last week. In other words, Lisa's inference was correct. There were indeed signs of an increase in the number of shadows. To verify whether the shadows could communicate with humans, they planned to film the bathroom shadow and thoroughly investigate his identity when he was alive. So they brought a special device that could capture the shadows on film. They set up the equipment in advance and waited for the shadow to appear. However, to their surprise, the shadow seemed to notice they were filming. He glanced sideways at Lisa, then suddenly lunged at her in rage. Fortunately, the shadow couldn't harm them, and they successfully captured his image. The next day at noon, Jack found information on this shadow. His name was Ryan, and he was a murderer. But what Lisa found eerie was that the victim was born on the same day as her. Perhaps this was why Ryan came to Lisa's house. One morning, Jack came to Lisa's home, just in time for the appearance of Lisa's father's shadow. The newspaper Jack held also reported a similar case of a murdered girl.